So here's 10 habits that I implemented almost daily to get to around 10% body fat and how I've managed to stay lean for the last 4+ years. Let's go. Number one is to improve your mindset and your beliefs. The biggest transition period when my physique absolutely changed was in the morning. I used to go to the gym around 5:30, and this is the first time I ever woke up, right? And I went to gym, smashed out my session, and I came back home and I continually listened to these old school Jordan Peterson lectures, and I just listened to them on repeat, and they're just talking about really basic things about unlocking your potential, becoming a better person, quitting bad habits, etc. And I made this into literally a routine. Every single morning I did this, and it started to shift my beliefs in terms of what I can actually achieve and who I can become. So if you find yourself out of shape right now, it's because of your beliefs, it's because of what is in it. So you must change that and combine that with the action. So habit number two is a meal plan. So the reason I would encourage a meal plan for everyone is because you have less decision fatigue, right? Every time you have to make a choice, it's like imagine this water bottle, right? This is your choice meter, and every single day you make a choice, it gets less and less and less and less and less and less. And by the end of the day, if you're at this point, you're not going to make very many good choices, right? But if you have got a meal plan, then it means whenever you eat, there is no reduction in the water, right? It stays there. So that means you can just do it in a repeated way, and it systemizes the whole process. I just need a sip right now. So your food is pretty much preset to the right macros, the right calories, and you only need to do it 80% of the time, right? Give 20% to eat whatever you want. Cool. Number three is you need to remember the vision, right? In my head, I remember in that phase when I was losing weight, I literally have seen like that Baywatch movie, where I don't know if you've seen it with The Rock and Zac Efron and all that. I don't really like Rock's physique, it's too big, but that Zac Efron physique when he was absolutely shredded doing that, Ninja Warrior thing, I had that ingrained in my mind. And it sounds almost cringy, but in my head I was like imagining myself, rolling up to the beach and that with proper slick back hair and shades and stuff. And I actually tried to get his haircut as well. Not as far as that, but I did actually try to get like a slick back. But what I'm trying to say is, I had that in my mind. Like I literally was thinking about that constantly. I was like, right, I can get that, that vision. And when you're doing that and combining it with the efforts, what you'll find is the progress becomes so natural and the process becomes so enjoyable as well. And what it does is it creates a connection between where you are now and where you want to be, and it sort of bridges that gap. And honestly, I didn't even know it is what I was doing. It's only when I've studied the power of visualization now, when I'm obviously trying to improve my business and my life, that I realised that's what I did back then. So I'd encourage all of you, have some sort of picture and make it really, really clear in your mind of what type of physique you want. Imagine the feelings that'll come when you get that physique and you're walking around the beach shredded, or whoever it is. Just imagine it and really put yourself in those shoes, and I promise you the journey will be so much better. So number four is resistance training. I didn't actually do too much cardio, but I did smash out the gym like an absolute animal. I was hitting it around 6 times a week, but that's because I was at uni. I didn't really have much responsibilities. You don't need to do that now. I would recommend around 3 to 4 sessions a week though. Plus steps, right? Do as much steps as you can alongside that resistance training, because I remember I had a part-time job, so I had to go from my flat and walk to the train station and then get a train to this place called Metro Centre. Then I had to walk around that mall to go to do my job, and then I'd come back. So I was probably hitting around 8k steps on the days that I was, working. And on top of that, I was standing up all day and going to the gym on those days as well. So I think that really, really helped shred that fat for me quite quick. And I know for a fact it's helping because a lot of the clients I'm working with now, we implement steps and fat does come down really nicely. Number 5 is to optimize your environment. You don't want to let a robber into your house, right? What you want to do is stop him at the gate. So if you buy the snacks and you buy the junk food, you will attack them. How do I know this? Is because I do it. If any of my flatmates buy some chocolates or cake or red velvet or something, I am on that straight away. I don't even think twice. I will destroy it. But what I do is I don't buy them in the first place myself, because I know that I've got that temptation for it. So don't allow it into your house. Habit 6 is to plan your days. Overeating a lot of time can actually just be due to boredom. It's because you have nothing else to do and you're like, you know what sounds really good right now is just that feeling of snacking on a few Jacob's biscuits or having crisps or whatever it is, right? So you will just go and eat because you've got nothing else to do. However, if you plan your day, so the night before you go to bed, just go on your notes app, go on Google Calendar, or just in your diary, write down, this is the things I'm going to do all day, and actually schedule it out. What you'll find is there's no time to be bored because you've already got a plan set in place. Like for me, I told myself wake up 6:15, do work up until 8:30, and at 8:30 record these videos. So this is what I'm doing. there's not much time to think in between what I'm going to do here and there. Very similar to the meal plan, what we're doing is reducing that decision fatigue. Even in planning your days, plan out what times you're going to eat. So it could be morning, lunch, dinner, and even on top of that, combine that with the meal plan. So say I'm going to eat this meal then, this meal then, and this meal then. So at this point, you've literally got no decisions to make the next day. You can just go through it nice and smooth. And this really helped me drop body fat pretty quick. And even put in there the snacks that you want to allow yourself, right? You don't need to make this plan, you don't need to make this day a day that you hate. Make it a day that you actually will sort of get some fulfillment from, right? So put the snacks in there that you want to have, and allocate yourself some time to have those as well. Cool. Habit 7, I say this all the time, and it's just to sleep regularly. I promise you, if you start doing this, your whole life will change, right? Your fat loss will increase, your muscle building will increase, your mindset will be improved. The thing is, when you're trying to get lean, right, you're going to be in a deficit, so you're not going to be eating as much food. That's one of the main sources for energy. Another huge deposit of energy where you get is from your sleep. You're basically charging the phone in and you're getting back to 100%. Right, that's basically what sleep is, but we don't look at it like that. So if you're not sleeping and you're in a deficit, then your journey is going to be way harder because you're going to be feeling hungrier, you're not going to have enough energy throughout the day, which is going to encourage a chance of you going off plan and doing things that you shouldn't do. Look, and you're never going to have a perfect streak of doing it all the time, but just try to aim for that. Because if you do it, you'll start to enjoy the days so much more, right? And don't think that you're sleeping regularly or you need to wake up early because of work or because I've got this or because of that. Sleep regularly just to sleep regularly. The goal isn't to sleep regularly for something else. The goal is to sleep regularly. This is a mindset shift I never really thought of. Right? I always thought I had to sleep on Monday to Friday because I need to get up for work when I was working in my job, or I need to sleep at this time because I've got that. No, you sleep on time because you sleep on time. That is the goal. Try to reframe that mindset, because when you start doing that, you'll realize you wake up with crazy amounts of energy, you're super productive, and you'll start to make the right decisions to get lean. Cool. Number 8 was to cut out alcohol. So I remember in that time at uni, I pretty much just stopped. I went cold turkey and I just thought, I don't want to have this anymore, because alcohol, from a body perspective, actually messes up your fat burning process. So whenever you ingest alcohol, your body basically says stop to the fat burning and says let me break down the alcohol instead, right? And that's really not what we want if we're trying to get lean. Another thing is it impairs your sleep, it impairs your judgment, so you end up having worse food throughout the day. It reduces your activity levels the next day. You're probably not going to go to the gym either. So there's just overall a net negative for me, so I just eradicated it completely. My life is way better without it. Cool. Habit number 9 is having a habit tracker. Now this is an absolute killer. So all the things that we mentioned, I literally tracked on a habit tracker. So what I would do is on the, I keep forgetting the rows and columns, bro, I'll be honest. So whatever it is on the side going down, I would write the days of the month all the way from 1 to 31. And at the top, in a vertical fashion, I'd write the habits. So I'd be like habit 1, habit 2, habit 3, habit 3, like that going across. And I'd make them all into squares so I can tick each thing, right? Now I want to tell you exact habits that I tracked on a daily basis. I had my wake up time, my sleep time, my gym session, my meal plan, my uni work, and did I read before bed. That was it. There was nothing else. And the game was to maintain as many of these ticks as possible for as long as possible. And I promise you, if you just start to do this, the fat will just diminish. It will disappear and you won't even know what happened, because you're just ticking off the inputs that do the job without even thinking about it. And number 10 habit is I used a lot of progress pics. So you track your inputs by your habit tracking, but it's also very important that you track your outputs to see if the work you're doing is generating results. So the method I chose was to use progress pics. That's because I wasn't really bothered about body weight. I was more bothered about body composition. So that's the muscle to fat ratio. And really the only way to check that is visually, unless you want to do a DEXA scan, but I don't really care about that. So that being said, if you have higher body fat, it may be good to actually use the weighing scale, because a lot of the times you'll be able to see the scale decrease first before your body actually changes. So it can give you another measurement to win, basically. So I didn't have excess body fat, so when I started training, the fat sort of came off quite quick for me. So I was taking progress pics 3-4 times a week, just noticing the tiny changes, being really happy with the progress that I was making. And yeah, if you're doing weights and track them as much as you can really, and you'll start to see the weight come down and you'll start to be happy with the results. And you do this for an extended period of time, and I promise you, you will get to 10% body fat and you will be super lean and shredded. Goodbye.